What's going on, guys? Hope y'all been great. The wait is over. We finally about to drop a video on the game, bro. Finally. We will be building a drift car. Well, it'll be a guide to kind of guide everybody to building how to build a drift car. So, you know, all little beginners to understand the situation. Let's get away from this festival. Just get away. Alright, thoughts. The game is lovely. I played it. Like, I like playing with my friends, to be honest. That's when I enjoy it the most. But when it's like, you could play it by yourself and have fun too, but I'm also like you play with my friends, really. But I like the whole idea of some events like the drag racing. You pull up to the drag strip, you just hit the little button, and you could go to the tree, and you could run a time, so you could know how when you do something on your car, if you went faster or slower. Time attack, love that section too. You roll up there, roll to the start line, boom, automatically. You see the split speed. What is it? The split times. If you see how fast you're going, the sectors, what sector you're faster at, where you're slow at. Online, spec racing is great. It really shows you, like, bro, some people put heavy amount of time into this game, boy. The execution of the game was phenomenal, to be honest. Like, everything they did, they kind of, with GTA 6 coming, you kind of understand why they did it and why they went Japan. I hope for the car packs that's coming out, they add some of that hot version, big brand, the big racing brands, all the Amori shops, the Feed, the J's Racing. Hopefully they implement that in the game, or they can, hopefully. The scenery in this game is unreal. And I don't play on the highest graphical settings in any game. I really just play 1080p, and that's all I like. I was gonna try to split those cars, but it wasn't gonna make it. But yeah, that's my quick thoughts on what I feel about the game so far. I will be doing some other builds, such as a time attack, maybe a little bit of road racing, a little bit of drag builds here and there. But y'all got Mars tuning for the drag racing needs. To be honest, the guy is phenomenal. The guide is simple, easy to follow, so definitely. I just want to help everyone understand the drifting part and get the car to do what they want it to do. Hey, I will say this too. I'm not one of them that buy like every car that's on the side of the street, but this is cool as hell, bro. You could literally come up to this and buy this car if you wanted it. Like, literally. That's the execution of that idea. Like, it's like you shopping on Marketplace, really. I only wish the cars was more like exciting, but that cars that you could like, it give you an objective to really find like rare cars. To me, I don't really find anything that outrageous in there. Look at the scenery here, bro. Unreal. And keep in mind, I'm not even on the highest settings. The roads is phenomenal. Like, couldn't ask for any better. I know they're probably gonna add the expansion to be a little more I don't know what direction they're gonna go. I hope they go more toge, more like into the Japanese culture. Midnight Club, hopefully. Come on now, a lot of things we could hope for. Yeah. So I think it's a great game, bro. I know there's some things that could be better, but listen to me, bro. It's a step in the right direction. And if you're trying to get the game, you're not sure if you're gonna get it, I say to get it. And really just if you're trying to be competitive on all of that, just understand it's the same thing over and over again, bro. Your tire is gonna determine majority, 90% of any race. Like what tire you on is gonna really dictate whether you win or lose. The only fair, like good competitiveness you're gonna get is probably in spec racing. And with that, it has a very steep learning curve also. So because you're driving all the cars, well, I think it's a handful of cars that's like all of them are stock, I'm assuming. And everybody's in the same car and you get to see where you stack up against the field. I think it's great. Like map knowledge, play course knowledge, whether they're on the track that they do decide like play a big role. Like you could tell who been racing on the game since it came out. So alright, let's get into the build. I think that's my take on everything so far. I love what they did with the turbo sounds and everything and how they went about it. Let's see, what car should we build today, bro? Whew, it's endless. Alright, another thing too. Splitter, the front splitter and the rear wing update for the Forza Arrow. Love it. I know a lot of people would prefer a lot more options and all of that, but take what you get, use it, and don't be mad about it. You get what I'm saying? Just be grateful that they did change it. What car should we do, man? Hot take. Some of the bigger, like, I know y'all see these cars right here. Let me see. These upgraded cars. I wish they didn't put. I wish they, instead of making it a car, I wish they made it to where you could just select parts. Like you take the base model Supra and you could deck it out to get to that. Where you could change the interior and all of that. I feel like that would bring more life, more creativity to the game. But it's still in the game. You could pick this car and do what you want to do to it. What car would everybody be drifting? Or what everybody? All right. Think about this. When it comes to drift cars, high horsepower, low horsepower. The only thing that matters, the most is torque. So I will be aiding in that situation of like understanding what motors are good, what you're trying to achieve, horsepower and all of that. I think we should let's do a little S15, I guess. Could do S15, could put a wide body, could do many options. Like I said, I'm gonna start pumping out some videos and hopefully y'all enjoy. And as I said, what I'm applying here is a general concept. Like it works on many cars. You could do it to you could apply it to any car really. Right? Let's get to it. SR20. Let's go over it. It makes 205 torque stock. Right? They have an RB25 in here. I know it don't sound like much now, but you could really do it up to make it sound good. RB26, it makes 289 torque. You got the S50, the 2. I think this is the E36 M3 motor. I know it's an S variant. I'm not too keen on all of them, but you got that one. It's a V10. I think it's from the LFA. Not sure. We know this is the GTR motor. makes about 481 torque, which is great. And this is I don't know what motor this is from, but I'm pretty sure y'all figure it out in the comments, or somebody probably know. We could do the stock motor just to showcase the body kits a little bit. My only issue with this body kit, right? I wish the front wheels could go wider. I wish, even though you add the body kit, I wish you could still add the spacers to make it even wider. Right? So this car got a lot of options. Could do the spec car, I think it is, or the S15. You could go crazy with this build if you wanted to. Like I said, I truly feel like the game has a place. Nothing seems too, like, they could have just put whatever that was in Horizon 5 into this game and just port it over if they wanted to, but they really took the time and updated a lot of the things that we've been asking for. So be grateful, don't be mad about it, just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I like the cage change. Some of the details, I don't know if it's a licensing thing or it's just certain things they can't do. But I know people, when they say when it comes down to drift car, weight matters and all of that. I said, think about it like this: more weight, car might not. It takes more to get it to transition faster when it's heavy. This is already at 26, so you don't really need to take much out of here. You could go all the way to 22, which would make the low horsepower. Like, I feel like low horsepower cars, you want to do the lightweight reduction. You want to go the light as possible. You could add the cage to try to get the more snappy transitions where you have you see the way it says front and it says 50%, so it'll be a 50-50 car, so it'll be very more like on its heels where you want to transition. Y'all see from CarX, if y'all watch my videos like from CarX, you will see how much more snappy the cars are with 50-50. So take that in mind. We go do that on here since we're gonna be using a stock motor. For this one, we go max intake. We could just do a fuel pump, fuel rail. Alright, this is where it gets interesting. I like the sport exhaust. I feel like the race exhaust is a lot too much for me, so I'm gonna go sport. This is where we control how much torque we make, right? Yes, you could go to higher revving and all of that, but for me, I like to keep the stock cam or just one tick up to maintain the torque that the car was already making. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep that torque number as close as possible to the horsepower. See, now we're making 300 torque, and we're making 370 horsepower. We bored it out to a 3.4. So you don't have to always go max with the displacement if you want, but for me, if you want that torque value, do the max. Right? Turbos, this is like preference base. We could make 500 with the 450 torque, or we could just do 400 with the 391. But I think since we're doing low horsepower, and I know a lot of people, they like slower drifting, smooth drifting cars. Sometimes the intercooler adds the weight to the front, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna leave it at 50-50. We could do the radiator upgrade, and flywheel is really preference. It's up to you what you want to do. So far we have race brakes, drift suspension, both anti-roll bars, front and rear, cage, weight reduction, And for trans, you don't really need to do the clutch upgrade because the race gearbox in this game already gives you like you don't need to press the clutch to really shift gears. But I'm gonna do the sport trans because I don't want to confuse you. I know a lot of y'all don't really like to tune, so I'm gonna try to build it to that spec. Well, we're gonna build two variants in this video, one with this stop motor and one with a little bit more power. And or we might just keep this as a separate video and then just do another video. All right, so this is what I said in the beginning. Tire, no matter what racing discipline you're doing, the tire matters, right? If you're doing online racing, you're gonna be using some of the wilder tires you wouldn't think to use, right? So for drifting, I feel like the snow tire, the drift tire. For slower drifting, you could use the standard tire, which some of the cars you see where it's in parentheses, you got standard, then you got street, then you got sport. So this is like the basic. For lower horsepower cars, I think you want to be more towards the. You could go street, but if you're making like 200 horsepower, you want to stick to standard, right? But if you're making closer to 200 torque, you can make it work with the standard, right? But for the sake of this, we're gonna do the drift tires, and we're gonna show you how we could get slower drifting, but have a little bit of pace in the car, right? So we could go all the way up to 305s in the front, but we're gonna keep it 265, right? Okay, see how it doesn't go all the way out flush? That's the only gripe I have with the car, right? We're gonna do this. That's the one. What we on 16s? Let's do 18s. Yeah, they look a little bit huge on here, but making a drift car. So, let's use a nice wheel to set it off. I'm not mad at this. We might go one of these. Tease. All right, so that's the setup for the low horsepower slower drifting. I'm gonna show y'all could use the stock drift tires, still get smooth drifting out of it. And I don't have the setup on my controller where you mess with the dead zone and all of that to make it more smoother and all of that. I'm gonna just give you the basic standard steering and all of that, all the assist off, clutch. I'm gonna go to the drift spot, one of the drift spots. I kind of like this spot right here of how it gives you a nice low flow. Alright, so let's just run it basic. I want us to keep in mind this is a sport transmission, so the only thing we'll be able to change is the final drive. So as you test in the car, making your first run, see what gears you're trapped between and make your adjustment based on that. So we want to be in third, but we clutch kicking a lot. Keep in mind, we only make 370 horsepower. And we on the drift tires, and it's straightening out a little bit, but we could fix that with just a few adjustments. road, bro. And keep in mind, this is uphill also. I will say I wish PlayStation got the game on early release. Hopefully they didn't do y'all dirty when the game's about to end. They drop it on PlayStation. I hope they give it to y'all a little earlier so people could fully enjoy the game. Look, you finish your drift run. If you want to buy your RSX, just pull up and buy it. All right, go to the tuning menu. Slow drifting. What's the idea behind it and how you achieve it? Right. So the main thing you could do, you want to set the diff up to where when you let off a throttle, on throttle, you wanted both wheels to maintain the lock. Right. The higher you go with this, the more aggressive the diff will be. So I'm gonna go 50-50. Sometimes they did fix this where the bias, if you put it to the front, it does go to the front now. Before, you normally have to go to the rear to get it to go more front bias. So I'm happy they fixed that. Little small details. Dampening and all of that. This is where you control the tire, control the grip. For this one, in the front, I run about 8. In the rear, I run about 10. On the bump, in the front, we're gonna go 6. In the rear, we're gonna keep this 10, trying to reduce the squat. Let's do, since we added a little horsepower, so I normally do, for this I'm gonna do 5, and I'm gonna do let's do 6, and I'm gonna do half that in the rear. Let's do 4. I'm gonna do 400, 470 to be exact. We're gonna keep it low on the right height. This is where, for you trying to lose the grip, like you want the car to be snappy, slow drifting, smooth. This is where you're gonna get that it factor. So we're gonna go up as high as we can with the sway bar in the front. As high as I'll go probably 50 and 32. Sometimes I do swap this number, but depending on how the car feels, I might leave it just like that. The more camber, you get more angle. So if you go max, you have max angle, but I'm gonna take a little bit off it. I'm gonna do a 4-3. In the rear, we're gonna do 1-2, -1-2. The toe out, a little bit of toe out in the front, a little bit. All right. Toe in, it adds more forward drive. When you get on throttle, the car would want to drive forward a lot more. So for here, we're just gonna do a little bit of toe out, 0 toe. I'm gonna do about 6-7 on that, on the caster. The diff, since we kind of down on power, I'm gonna go I'll go 4-3 on the diff. All right, this is where it matters the most. The tire, controlling that smooth drifting, you want to be more towards a higher PSI based on grippier tires. If you're on drift tire, low horsepower, you want to be higher on this number here. For the front, we're going to be like 36. In the rear, we're going to be like closer to probably like, let's do 42. Air it up a little bit. Take some of the speed out of it, and let's see. So Change shorter gears, so we should be able to stay in third now. The diff is locked both ways, both when you excel and then you let off throttle. When you press on throttle and let off throttle, both we should be locked. And with the rear is not squatting as much, so it should allow the car to just break traction easier. What else? Yeah, I think the I think we got 250 on the first run. All right. So, two things. The car is driving forward a little bit too much. So, remember I was talking about the anti-roll bars where I said I flipped these numbers. So, to make the car stay wider on angle, we're going to reduce the jacking where when you have a stiffer front swivel than the rear, when you add angle, the rear, like it cross, like the weight is like go across the car, so it's adding more grip to the rear. So we're gonna flip that to where we're not gonna use the tire pressure to achieve the wider angle. We're gonna adjust the sway bar. So 50 in the rear, 32 in the front, and it should want to stay at angle easier or better. Okay, I might change the gear ratio a little bit, just so we have more options. I'm gonna go to the extreme. I'm gonna go to the extreme. I'm gonna go to like a 4.7. When you do a race transmission, you don't have to like you. I have a gear set that works like. See, you staying at angle a little bit more longer. I know a lot of people want to use the slow drifting on stock tires. Like, you could get a grippier tire to do the same thing as like, you just gotta set up the chassis and the tire pressure the correct way, and you could get the car to be slower and drift. And there's your low horsepower drift car. I still would wanna change a few things, just a little bit to make it a little more, cause a little bit still too hooked up. I'll probably do like 50 psi in the rear and like 38 in the front. Try to get it to stay wider. So we after this run, gonna end it, call it here, and we're gonna build the other car with a higher horsepower in the next video. I got greedy.
Arrived at your destination.
And that's it for our first video on Horizon 6. Low horsepower drift car for y'all. Stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate y'all for all the support and the subscribers have been climbing. Like, I see y'all tapping in. I appreciate it. The content, I said, I've been just testing, really. That's the biggest thing. Testing different things and learning and really progressing. And sometimes I just want to play the game with my friends. So, peace out. Stay tuned for the high horsepower builds. And as I said, everything can be applied. Trust me, the least little gems I dropped in here, it could help y'all out when y'all building drift cars. Peace.